Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, this Off Topic Friday is a topic that another one that I give thought and overthought to. And it's anything, think of everybody you know, family, friends, the circles you keep. Anything from full-on alcoholism to teetotaling person that never has a sip, and everything in between can exist. And I don't know about you, but I know anybody and everyone that represents all categories. And I hear it so much that there is pressure on one or the other to live a certain way. And why don't you have a drink, non-drinking person? Or why are you drinking so much, drinking person? I was led to do this video recently when I felt somebody that doesn't drink a lot has a superiority about that choice. And I just wanted to speak and say, I don't think that that's a fair attitude to have. I don't want to say one is worse or better than the other. Anything is fine if you have a handle on it. I'm not saying I would not rather be a teetotaler than I am an alcoholic. Of course that would be better to never have a drink. But you know what? I'm perfectly comfortable with me being a social drinker. That means to me, what I define that to me is, I'm alone home most of my time. I don't have a drink if I'm home alone, and that takes care of 95% of it. So health-wise, calorie-wise, now, if somebody comes over, if I go away, if I have a 3-hour conversation with my cousin on a Friday night, we consider that a visit. I'll make a cocktail. That's a truly social drinker. I don't when I'm alone, and that takes care of most of my time. Now, I know people that have to drink every single day. I know people that pour wine while they're cooking dinner, and they're European, and they don't even think of that. That's a food group. They don't even think of that as being a drink. I know people that have problems with alcohol, and I know people that treat it perfectly healthy in a social way like I do. And then I know plenty of people that don't drink at all. I'm from 2 different kinds of families, okay? My father is French, my mother's Italian. Well, the French side, they're like Irish people. Traditionally in the culture, it's eat, drink, be merry, take drink, sing songs, play the violin, do a French jig. All of this is happening. My mother's side, I'd call them teetotalers. None of them drink. There was never like a cocktail had with the No, it's coffee, dessert, food, okay? So yeah, I'd call them teetotaling. So I've seen both extremes. Now, I don't think that there's a superiority to someone that never consumes over someone that has a good social handle on it. Maybe if you fall into the victim that you need help, then that's something you want to look at. But I don't like it when I hear this. A drinker is trying to make a non-drinker drink. And the reason I know that happens is because I've been in that situation a lot. Before I developed this has been how it's been now for years, and it works for me, that I just don't drink unless I'm in the company of others and I feel like it at that point. I still might not, but I mean, okay, pardon me. But when you have somebody, I used to be on cleanses. I'd go like 8 weeks not having anything. And if it fell on a holiday or on someone, oh, come on, don't make me drink alone. Have a drink. You got to do your cleanse now. Oh, come on. Blah, blah, blah. I don't get that. I don't get that part. Trying to make a person who has decided, for whatever reason, they've decided not to take a drink that night. I don't get that when people try to say, oh, come on, loosen up. They might be loose. They might be fine. They might be fine. Maybe they don't want to drink and drive home that night, even if they allow themselves one. Maybe they don't want any. Maybe they're on cold medicine. Maybe they know they didn't get a good night's sleep, and adding a drink is going to give them whatever. Somebody has a reason. We got to lighten up on each other. I hear it all the time. I know you do. I know you do. And you know, to get back to whether or not you have a problem, I read once, I think I read 15 drinks a week, I think I read. Now, isn't there a big spectrum? Are you a 300 pound, 7 foot tall man, or are you a 100 pound, 5 foot tall woman? I think there's kind of a range in there, But I think that if you are somebody that knows you struggle with alcohol, I know a very person that used to be very close to me, and they struggle with alcohol. It is their monster. They can't beat it. It's very sad to witness. And all you can do if you have somebody that you think needs help is try to encourage them to see their own truth. You can't drag someone to rehab. I've seen that, and I've seen that blow up. I've seen somebody come to their own realization that they needed rehab, and they went, and it went well. And all you can do is be there for people. But when it comes to the disparity, the only thing that I think we can do to keep the best addition to any situation is don't let anybody drive. Try to discourage young people because they think they can handle more than they can. At my daughter's high school, it was very, very sad. Catholic high school. And there was a family that lost their daughter the first semester she went off to college. Why? She didn't know how to handle it, and alcohol poisoned herself to death. And every year at graduation, this family gets up. They don't really say what happened, but there's like a little memorial for her on campus. There's always a quiet reminder. So it's up to us as adults, I guess, to teach our children that they should be responsible with alcohol. It can kill people. And driving, no excuse ever, at all, ever, but especially nowadays when an Uber is an app on everyone's phone. I don't get it. Well, I didn't feel like going and getting my car the next day, so I risked it. Did you? You risked it? To not inconvenience you to have to go back 20 minutes and get your car the next day? That I marvel at. That people are still drinking and driving. That there's something wrong with. Absolutely. That crushes me. I can't stand to see it. And we all know people that push the limit, don't we? We definitely know people that push the limit. Over and over and over again. And all you can do in that situation, if you're witnessing it, is encourage them. Call an Uber on your phone and make them get in it. I don't care what it takes. Stop somebody who is going to drink and then going to drive. But I also think that everyone is an adult and they're making their own choices. You can sense I'm a friend of one of those group posses of women, and they all suspect one of them has a drinking problem. Okay? They do a lot of complaining about it to each other. I hear them. But are they doing anything? I still hear when they're recounting times that they're going on, it's always a champagne brunch or one, alcohol's become a huge part of so much today. It wasn't like that when I was younger. Do you remember our TV shows? I'm 55. TV shows in the 70s and 80s. You're talking about Happy Days, Three's Company, Laverne and Shirley. There wasn't a drink on everyone's table all the time. I have a 22-year-old. She'll be 23 this coming winter. We used to watch the teenage shows. These kids are making drinks in high school. All the shows. Alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. Every occasion, alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. You're expected to drink at the champagne brunch. You're expected to have midnight cocktail. If you're out for dinner, you're expected to have wine. God forbid you be the person to say, you know what, I'm not. I can't have 4 or 5 drinks in one day. That's a lot of drinking if you say yes to everything. When I used to go out in a string of occasions like that, when I used to keep myself busy socially, I had to pick and choose where and when I was going to drink. I can only drive with 2, and that's if I eat. I'm a little person, and I'm well aware of that. So I've seen people, they know their limit, and they go right past it, and they go and get in the car. I just think that there shouldn't be superiority with somebody that they look down their nose on someone having a good time and having a few drinks with friends or family. But I also don't think that the person that is drinking should make the person that's not drinking have a drink. Like, everyone leave each other alone. Let's make sure no one's drinking and driving. I think that's the most vital thing that we can do in a circle of people. But I am shocked at how much alcohol is a facet of every single part of life that you ever go to. You go to a child's birthday party and there's drinks. The adults are all having drinks. These 40-year-old parents I know, these 35-year-old parents I know, they're drinking all the time with their kids at a party. They don't care. I'm not saying it's superior, but my husband and I never drank when we were raising a child. Never. Well, we never did anyway. But I don't know. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that it's become so rampant, and it seems that people say yes just because of the occasion. Like they feel they almost have to have a drink. And that's what I don't like. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to. There's a big gap between alcoholism and being a teetotaler. And you could have a very healthy relationship with alcohol and have a drink every night. The person that I know that does, who's European, red wine while they cook. It's what they do. Do I think that exhibits a drinking problem? No, I don't care if they do that 7 nights a week. That's what they do. It's cultural. Now, somebody else might not be able to handle that. If they had wine every night at dinner, that turns into a vodka cocktail, that turns into a late night cocktail, and then they polish off a bottle. They have no control. That's a whole other thing. I think a lot of people that do drink are judged. And the person I know that has wine every night will be self-deprecating. I know, I probably have a problem. And I'm the first one to say, don't say that about yourself. This is an activity you enjoy. It's an experience for this person. They cook, they have the wine. It's beautiful to witness. And then they're perfectly fine and they go to bed and they have a normal functioning day. There's no problem there in my mind. But some people do get carried away. And if you know a friend that does that, maybe don't drink when they're around. I have a couple of people that I don't drink when they're around. Not because I think they have problems, but I know a couple of people that don't really drink. So the side in me that wants to be social with a cocktail isn't really ignited if I'm in the company of somebody that doesn't drink. So don't drink. I think people automatically think drinking goes with every social activity. And it becomes expensive. I couldn't afford the bar tabs I see these kids doing. There's no way. There's no way when I was 25 years old that I had $100 on a Friday night, $100 on a Saturday night, and $100 on a Sunday afternoon for brunch. There's no way. That's over $1,000 a month on social occasions. My pocket kept me home or kept me doing things that were more creative, that weren't straight up bills like that. I think that the alcohol in our society has become so prevalent that people just think they should, or think that they have to go with it. If you don't feel like having one, don't. I have coffee a lot. It depends on what time of day it is. I might switch to a cocktail, but I do drink coffee all the way up until the evening time. So when I go to a 1 o'clock brunch with somebody, they're having wine. I'll probably break down depending on who the person I'm with is, but I'm still drinking my coffee at noon, 1 o'clock. I just bring this up because I think that we are very not nice to each other. And the conversation I heard recently was, we don't even have a drink. Like we might not, go months without having a drink. Like the selling of it to me, the making a point of it. Because I don't care what anybody does. If you have a handle on it, I don't pass judgment. If you're a big drinker and you have control of it, or you don't drink at all, anyone's welcome. And I've done both. I've been where my mid-40s, I probably was having wine every single night out on my porch. I think there was a period there I was going out with somebody who was Greek, full-blooded Greek. We had cocktails all the time. It was like mimosas in the morning and wine at lunch and wine at dinner and late night cocktail and appetizers at 1 a.m. And it was eat, drink, be merry all day. I gained 20 pounds. Now that's not good on a 5'1" frame. So I got a handle on it, and now I won't go in that direction again. It was fun hanging out with that person. That's fine. But it was never going to be a regular part of my lifestyle. And if it is, and you are unhappy with what's happening in your health and you feel so, make some changes. But the judgments I think we have to stop. I don't think it's nice. I hear it's just another area where I hear people say things about each other, make digs to each other. Why can't we all just be on the side of each other? You know someone needs help? Get them help. You know someone can't drive, stop them from driving. But you're not paying their bills, and they're showing up for work every day, and they're showing up for their family. What can you do? If somebody wants to drink a lot, that's not... I knew somebody that she just kept begging her husband to not drink. She met him and he was a drinker. He was always a drinker. How can you be mad? He's not going to change. That's what he does. So I said, but leave him alone. He's not hurting anybody. Well, his health and all right. Well, they're making a choice. It's an area that we can all improve, to not make judgment, help when you can, and for the Lord's name, my God, for the love of Blanche, don't let anybody drive drunk. It's just another area that my mind works overtime. You guys know I have a million of them. I thank you for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please go ahead and hit sub, like, and share, and I'll see you next time. Have a good weekend.